Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for the running of the Dodge Save Mart 350 at the Infineon Raceway out in Sonoma, California for the site of our first road course race of the Do It for Dale series. And I've just realized I forgot to put Do It for Dale in the title. Give me a second on that. Nextel Cup Series edition for tonight's race. Of course, the Nextel Cup Series is the only series that raced at Sonoma at the then called Infineon Raceway back in the 2005 season. But we are underway for tonight's race. No practice, no qualifying for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He had missed the drivers' meeting before the start of the race. So we'll be starting at the rear. I say that because I literally just got home like 4 minutes ago. So that's why I was running a little bit behind on the stream. But nonetheless, we are here. And I think it's going to be a good night of racing. Definitely going to have to be patient. Have not had a road course yet in the Cup Series, and we are not practicing at this racetrack. So obviously it's the first time at Infineon as well on this game. It doesn't matter what the series is. This is going to be interesting. Hopefully Dale Jr. does not struggle with the handling of his car off the start, but regardless of the fact, he is going to be checking up big time, and we'll see if he can survive this race, to say the least, let alone try to get a good finish out of it. Billy Carjoy, Michael Head, Mark DeMars, Billy Kramer, Joshua Rumsey, Patrick Shadley, Alan Barkley, Rod G, Derek Booth, and others. Welcome to the stream. Already over 15 of you guys watching as we're just about to get this race underway again at the Infineon Raceway. Dale Jr. comes into this race 6th on the point stand. He's 247 out of first and just over 120 points above the cutoff line to get into the chase as of right now. Green flag is in the air. Jeff Gordon's on the pole, will lead the field to the green at Infineon. Jr. is already backing up. Oh, look at the cars scattering 3-4 wide. There's like 2 or 3 cars in the sand, couple up off the curb on the inside. And Dale Jr. is just going to gas it up at the last second and try to get by a few more of them. I mean, he was way at the back expecting some sort of a stack up in those first couple turns. We got it. And he still gained 5 positions. Big bounce off the curb by Earnhardt. Jamie McMurray may have scraped the wall on the outside. Junior coming in hot, almost wheel hopped it. Trying his best to make some clean passes on the racetrack. A big bounce off the curb that time, and Jeff Green's going to be able to get around him for position. Into the assist down the hill. Gordon continues to lead on the opening lap. Dale Jr.'s already gained 8 spots on the opening lap of the race. McMurray running a car wide right now. I expect we're probably going to see another checkup going into this U-turn at the bottom of the hill. Look at these cars creeping right now. 40 miles an hour on corner entry. Just to keep from running into the back of one another. Junior almost got tapped from behind from the 0-0 of Kenny Wallace. That's the problem, is dirty air is going to be a big factor in this one as well right now. Wallace got a little tag from behind. Up the hill they go. Kenny drives it in really deep, trying to get underneath Dale Jr. Jr. to the outside of Dale Jarrett and Jeff Green, who checked up, and Jarrett actually got around Green. I don't know why the 43 car slowed up as much as he did. Mark Martin going a little bit wide. Contact for the first time on lap 2 now with Jr. and Green. Dale Jarrett up off the curb as well as Dale Jr. Look at Dale Jarrett shooting the outside to try and get around Mark Martin in the 6. Wade Solinsky, welcome into the stream as well. Jarrett will clear Martin. Martin going to get back alongside of him again. Junior just going to let Martin go into the next corner on the inside. Martin may get underneath the 88 of Dale Jarrett. Dale Jr. goes 3 wide underneath Martin Jarrett, picking up a lot of spots on the inside lane. Dive bombing underneath Kevin Harvick, Casey Mears. Harvick's got a lot of damage on the front of his race car. He must have ran into the back of some cars on the start of the race. We saw a massive checkup. I would not be surprised if he's not the only one with some sort of damage. Be interesting to see how the cautions are going to play out in this one. There are only 2 at the Old Spice Speedway in a Truck Series race there earlier this season. It's the only road course that we have raced on NASCAR 06 so far. Dale Jr. methodically getting his way through the field. Harvick off the curb. It's amazing how much the curbs really throw the cars at this racetrack. Harvick checking up early. Dale Jr. with a bit of a wheel hop. He's going to go a bit wide in the corner. Costed him a shot to get around Harvick. And Harvick closed on McMurray in the 42 car in front of him as well. Brendan Littlejohn, welcome into the stream. Heading for Nashville. Awesome, man. Enjoy your time down there, Joshua. Or up there, depending on what part of the country it is, in comparison to where you live. Yeah, Junior, all the spots gained down to the bottom, up off the curb, using Jeff Burton up. And he'll pass him for 24th. It's only the second car he's made contact with, despite the fact he's already passed 19 cars in 3 laps. Because of all the checkups. He was able to avoid everybody. Looks like Brian Vickers has quite a bit of damage to the rear of his car. I wonder if that's who Harvick hit, considering they're only a couple positions apart from one another right now. Not sure what the fuel window is going to look like today either, with this being the first time at the Infineon Raceway on this game. Looking forward to getting paid Thursday. Awesome. Always got to enjoy payday. If you can't enjoy payday, then what are you working for? How are you going to enjoy any day? Oh, Nashville and NASCAR Ignition, gotcha. Oh, that makes... I thought you were referring to the fact that you were there this weekend or something. Mike Bliss has a lot of damage to the back of his car as well. Dale Jr. drove it in deep to get around Matt Kenseth in the 17, as well as Casey Kane in the 9. Dale Jr. up to 21st. He's 19 seconds off the lead from Jeff Gordon, despite being in the 21st position just on lap 5. It's how much the clean air advantage really, really matters, especially on road courses. Any style of racing, you're going to want track position. Road courses is the way. The strategy races typically end up playing out at these types of tracks. Bliss driving it in deep, trying to catch Terry Labonte in the 44 in front of him. Dale Jr. is going to look low underneath Bliss. Bliss is going to actually look low underneath of Labonte. Outbreaks the 44 car. Can't clear him up off the exit of the corner. That's going to be a tight race between the 0 and the 44 into the S's side by side in a dangerous area of the racetrack, and a difficult one at that to run side by side. They hang on to it for right now. Dale Jr. is looking towards the outside. Bliss with a block on him, and that should allow Labonte to hang on to his position, but Bliss gets into the back of him. Mike Bliss trying to move Labonte out of the way that time. And as they battle hard for position, Jr.'s going to battle hard as well. Bliss finally gets around Labonte, but Dale Jr. is going to get around both Labonte and Bliss into that second to last turn. Jr. chopped off turn 1 pretty deep, but got into the inside wall. I haven't seen any of the other 2 DEI cars yet in the field. Michael Waltrip's coming off just his second top 10 finish of the season at Michigan last night. Led 23 laps in that race as well. Dale Jr. unfortunately coming in off a 25th place finish. Or sorry, 32nd place finish. And not only that, but Dale Jr.'s had 3 finishes outside the top 30 in the last 4 races. The only outlier was his win at Pocono, which was a 50% race. He did lead the most laps in that one with 36 of 100 laps led. He's got a big run, looking to the outside for right now. Down towards turn 11. It's going to be difficult to pass on the outside in this corner, but Junior's trying to get it done. And it's going to work as he beats the 111 car back to the accelerator and clears the fantasy driver for position. Junior driving it in really deep into the S's. 111 trying to fight back. Junior's being held on by the 22 car of Scott Wimmer right now. I have to say, though, the handling is a little on the loose side. But loose is fast if he can hang on to it. And right now, Dale Jr. surprisingly actually feels comfortable with it. He got used up big time by the 111 car. He's going to try to cross him back over in the next corner. And he's going to use him back up. Junior did not appreciate that move the corner before as he got shoved wide up off the curbing. And Junior's going to put the bumper right back to him for 17th. Junior closing on Wimmer. Actually put the bumper to him. And he's on his inside and should make the pass. Down in turn number 11. And he does. Sean Derryman, welcome to the stream. I've been great. Hopefully you've been great as well. I think Scott Wimmer just hit the wall in the kink. That final corner in turn 12 towards the start-finish line. I don't know if he hit the inside wall or the outside wall, maybe both. Already 8 laps in, caution-free so far today at the Infineon Raceway after a wild first lap. Saw cars fanning out 4 wide going uphill, and a couple of them had to go off into the sand. A few cars ran into the back of one another. Driving it in deep, closing in on the 19. Jeremy Mayfield right in front of him. Into the S's they go. Dale Jr.'s got a lot of pressure on Mayfield. Trying to undercut him. Quite going to be able to make the pass. Into turn 10, down on the bottom of the racetrack. Clipped a little bit of the sand, keeps control though. And will finally make the pass. Really slammed the door shut on Mayfield that time. And up to 15th for the first time today is Dale Jr. We'll take our first field pass of the race today. We'll see what Martin Church Jr. is up to, just a couple positions ahead of where Dale Jr. is at on the racetrack right now in 13th. I think that's Boris Said in the 36 car in 12th place. He also had a top 10 at Michigan, his first top 10 of the year. Ended up finishing in 8th. Surprise run on an oval and an intermediate track at that. Loose off the curbing that time when Truex tried to accelerate back to the throttle. Ride with them for 4 laps, and then we'll go to Michael Waltrip for 4 laps following that, then back to Dale Jr. leading into the first set of pit stops. Whenever that's going to come about. Truex just ran right into the back of Boris Said. And we'll see if he's going to be able to make the pass in turn 11 on the 36. And he will. Kind of knocked him a little bit wide and maybe a bit loose the corner prior in turn 10. And allowed for him to make the pass in turn 11, but then he overdrives turn 12. Almost gave the spot right back up again. Sed's all over his back bumper as they go up the hill into the carousel. Even Truex is 20.3 seconds off the lead from race leader Jeff Gordon, despite the fact he's in 12th, and caution's out at lap 10, our first caution of the race tonight. Have I won yet this season? Yeah, actually 6 times with Dale Earnhardt Jr. So caution is out for the first time today. I'm not sure who on. But we have a yellow, and I believe it's for debris off of Kyle Petty's number 45 car. So debris bringing out the first caution of the race today. Oh yeah, it's definitely debris. Interesting pit strategy coming up here. Who will pit? Who will stay out? I don't think anybody is looking like they are going to pit. So Truex is going to stay out as well. Dale Jr. does have the most wins of the Cup Series season so far, but he's 6th in points coming in, lacking consistency. Green flag is back in the air. We'll have our first single file restart of the race today at lap 14. Uphill into the S's. Oh, big stack up. Should have known that was going to happen. Truex into the back of the 38 of Elliott Sadler. Not as bad of a stack up as what it was when everybody was double file off that initial start. Truex underneath the 38 car. Looking to make a pass, not going to be able to there. One car really wide. I believe that's the 99 of Carl Edwards. Truex is going to go wide. Oh, man, Rusty Wallace nearly squeezed him into the wall. And that almost allowed for Biffle to get by Truex, but Truex slammed right into the 16 car, keeping him from getting passed by the Biff. And Boris Said's back alongside Biffle now into the S's. Jeff Gordon has still led every lap in the race so far today. There's Michael Waltrip trying to make a pass on the outside of the 99 of Carl Edwards. Not going to work. Edwards holds clear. Ricky Rudd battling back to the inside of Truex. Squeezes him. That's an aggressive move by Rudd to get back into 9th place. Truex staying in line right in front of Wallace in the 2. Ricky Rudd, known for being a pretty good road course racer. Quite a few wins on road courses in his Cup Series career. Had 3 different ones. Riverside, Sonoma, right here at Infineon, and also with a win at Watkins Glen. Truex, down low, gets around Rudd. We'll drive with Truex for one more lap, and then we'll drive with Michael Waltrip after that. Truex locked the brakes up going into the next corner to keep from running into the back of the 15 car. And he's just going to let Waltrip go for right now. Can only hope Dale Jr. didn't have a bad restart a little bit further back in the field. Truex has gained 3 spots in the first 2 laps since the restart. He restarted in 12th, up to P number 9, just looking to sit comfortably behind Michael Waltrip, his teammate for right now. Waltrip actually looking to make a pass on Carl Edwards down to the inside, but he's not close enough. Through the chute, Waltrip down into the hairpin at the top of the hill, now into the S's, and it's side by side between the 15 and the 99. Oh, big bounce off the curb for Truex. That knocked him sideways, and Waltrip's clear of Carl Edwards for 7th place. Clean pass nonetheless by the 15. How about Michael Waltrip running well on a road course? Truex dive bombs to the inside of Carl Edwards now, looking to make a pass. He's got him. He's also going to get underneath his teammate Waltrip. So much for sitting behind him, and Truex will take over 7th place. Right in line behind the 97 of Kurt Busch. And we'll go back to Michael Waltrip this lap. Lap number 17. Tyler Burbeck, welcome to the stream. Yeah, and this is the layout we saw at Sonoma in real life this year, too, just a couple weeks ago. Coincidentally, running it, of course, as they did in the 2005 season. 2 of the 3 DEI cars in the top 10, with Truex in 7th and Michael Waltrip in 8th. And Truex is trying to get alongside Kurt Busch in the 97 car, former Cup Series champion. but he's going to overdrive it in the S's. I think that dirty air right behind the 97 car hurt the one of Truex just a little bit. And caution's out for the second time today at lap 17. We had a debris caution for Kyle Petty at lap 10, and now at lap 17 we have another caution, and this is debris off of the 29 car of Kevin Harvick, who we saw earlier on in the race. Had quite a bit of damage, and his hood has now fallen off, just like the 45 of Petty. Michael Waltrip becomes road courser. We'll see if anybody pits this time. They weren't quite halfway on fuel yet. Wait to see if there's a checkup of any sort. Waltrip's waiting. I don't think anybody will pit this time either, so everybody will stay out again. Stephen McPeak, welcome to the stream. That's great to hear, Derek. Hopefully all goes well. Lap 21 restart, 90 laps to go at Sonoma. Truex on the outside of Kurt Busch into the carousel. Sterling Marlin almost made, actually did try to make the same move on the 12 of Ryan Newman as well, so 2x2 right in front of Michael Waltrip. Oh, Kurt Busch is going to shove the one car wide. And Busch with a block on the inside. Waltrip had to get heavily on the brakes, and Busch makes a big pass on Sterling Marlin, who had all four wheels up off the ground after a bounce off the curb. 3 wide pass to the bottom goes Waltrip, uses up Busch, and he's up inside the top 5. Newman getting tight into the S's behind Jimmy Johnson, and goes a bit wide a couple times there, and Waltrip may have a shot at 4th. Closing in on race leader Jeff Gordon. Newman is all over the place. And that is going to allow the 15 of Waltrip to the inside. Locking the brakes up. Down at the bottom of the hill. Pass is made for Michael Waltrip on Ryan Newman. He's up to P number 4. And right in line behind Jimmy Johnson in 3rd. Might get Waltrip to the lead potentially before we go back to Dale Jr. 3 more laps with him. Ooh, a little contact between Johnson and Waltrip. That knocked the 48 a little loose. 15 car to P3. What a run for Michael Waltrip. Came into the race 22nd in points with 2 top 10s on the season, including one in the last race at Michigan, a 10th place, leading 23 laps last night. I did not think the 15 car was going to have any speed on a road course nonetheless, and now he's battling Tony Stewart for 2nd. Into the S's. He's going to get alongside Stewart. Stewart with a block. Gordon's got about a 1.5-second lead already as he's led every lap so far today. Waltrip looks low, but Stewart with a block in turn 10. Waltrip to the inside, locking the brakes up, trying to get around the 20 of Tony Stewart. Uses him up, and he's up to 2nd. 1.1 seconds back from race leader Jeff Gordon. Two more laps, and then we'll go back with Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, who we're actually racing this race with. Just had a couple cautions during the field pass so far. Waltrip off the curb, got a little loose because of it. He is pushing extremely hard. He's definitely using his tires up, but he wants to get that track position. The field bunched together after these 2 cautions. Into the S's. Waltrip hits his marks, closes in on Gordon even more. Davion West, welcome into the stream. Already 21 likes. Thanks for everybody smashing that like button so far today. Oh, Gordon got loose. He got loose that time in turn 10, and Waltrip's looking for the lead. On the bottom. Oh, he almost hooked Gordon in a little bump and run in turn 11, and Michael Waltrip leads at Sonoma. 15 car with 5 bonus points for the 2nd straight race. Gordon's not done. That was the first lap Gordon has not led today, and it was at lap 24 for the number 24. No, I am playing. I'm just commentating the race realistically, as I always do. That's the goal of the channel, is the live realistic commentary. Hopefully one day get into the commentary booth for real NASCAR races. That's why I do the live race commentary on the weekends as well, for the real races like I did on Sunday. So if you're new to the channel and wondering, you know, what I do NASCAR related, this is what I do during the week, and on the race weekends I commentate the same style of commentary for the real races on the race weekend. Waltrip gapped Gordon in the S's. It seems like Waltrip was getting through there better than in the lap before as well. We'll go back to Dale Jr. this next lap, at the start-finish line at least. We left off with Dale Jr. in 13th. 15th rather. We'll see where he's at following the restarts, being mid-pack for two of them while we weren't even controlling him. But how about Michael Waltrip? And Dale Jr.'s in 12th, so he's gained 3 spots from where we last were. And he's going to have to try and run his teammate Michael Waltrip down for right now. 25 laps in. 2 cautions so far at lap 10 and 17 for debris off of Kyle Petty and Kevin Harvick. Yeah, so subscribe, hit that like button. Like button helps me out a ton. Comment in the chat, that helps out a ton with the streams as well. Well, Junior's 10.7 seconds off the race lead right now from his teammate. Good run for all 3 DEI cars in the early going. Not a race organization that typically ran well on road courses, but tonight is a different night. And Dale Jr., a great corner through turn 11 to make a pass on Ricky Rudd for 11th. He's going to try to break into the top 10 here shortly. R6, welcome to the stream. Carl Edwards making a pass on Sterling Marlin for 8th place. Dale Jr. closes in the first hairpin in the lap on Rusty Wallace as he battles him and cautions out again. For the 3rd time today, yellow is out, lap 26. Right before Dale Jr. can try to make a pass. Oh, and this was a legitimate wreck. Dale Jarrett goes around and gets slammed by the 00 of Kenny Wallace. I think he got turned by Harvick. Oh, wow. So he bounced up off the curb after the 29 of Harvick sent him wide, and the curb sent him head on into the outside wall, I believe in turn 5. And that will bring out our 3rd yellow. This one for a wreck this time. The first 2 for debris. And I think the field is going to be pitting. No, they will stay out. Dale Jr. will pit. So Junior going to go off strategy, 4 tires and fuel. He's going to put himself at the back of the pack, which could be dangerous. No relax yellow. That's not a thing in this game. I don't know what exactly indicates a caution and what doesn't. So Dale Jr. is going to lose all that track position. He was in 11th. He'll have fresher tires, and he'll be off strategy for the first time today following the 3rd caution of the race in the early going. And having 3 in the first 26 laps, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot more where that came from. Michael Turner, welcome into the stream. Interesting. We still don't know exactly how far we can go on fuel on one run. This definitely won't be the last stop for Dale Jr. today, but it will be the first. Clean stop for the 18, getting some practice in there. Dangerous thing, though, is to be at the back of the pack. Especially with how stacked up everything gets on the restarts. Michael Waltrip will lead the field to the green at lap 30. Following yet another caution. Junior right back to where he started this race, and I'd have to imagine there's going to be a stack up this hill. Dale Jr.'s backing out of the gas. Not that bad of a stack up, though, I do have to say. Still a few more corners yet on this opening lap where we could see something. Dale Jr. is just going to be patient. Outsider, welcome to the stream. Couple cars fanning out to the outside, going wide. Kenny Schrader's got massive damage. I would not be surprised if he sheds debris at some point in time. Dale Jr. alongside Jimmy Spencer. Side by side to the S's, contact with Spencer. Spencer's gonna go, oh my goodness! Jimmy Spencer up off the curb and into the side of Dale Jr. Did he stick the landing? Good heavens. I did not see that coming. The contact initially going into the S's is what sent Spencer wide. And luckily Dale Jr. didn't really get much contact out of that. Jimmy Spencer did. And we have our fourth yellow of the race today. And because Jr. had caused it, he's going to have to pit, but he can't pit for fuel or tires because of causing the accident. Luckily, he didn't. He's got a donut on the right side of his car from Spencer, but that's about it. No severe damage, and the field will be pitting. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. is not going to be that much different right now than the rest of the field on fuel, and that is an unfortunate caution to see if you're Dale Jr. or Dale Jr. fan, because all that track position he lost, he may get some of it back because he can't take fuel or tires. He's going to hit pit road to repair some damage, but he only has 2/10 worth. Again, he didn't have much. Could expect payback from Jimmy Spencer. Yeah, Jimmy Spencer's probably upset. That's a good point, though, Sean. I could do that. The only problem is I feel like that hurts trying to get new people involved with the channel. Well, Dale Jr. will pick up some spots, but not many here. He's going to be mid-pack anyway. He's definitely not up in 11th where he was, so he definitely had a net gain of positions. Well, maybe he is. 2 spots back, 13. So he lost 2 spots and all that. And he only has 1 lap less of fuel and 1 lap more on his tires than everybody else. So that's not really going to make much of a difference. Great restart by the 25 car, Brian Vickers. Junior battling though to the outside of Vickers. He's not done with the 25 car yet. Gonna have to be careful in this corner. Oh man, into the wall. That was a very hard hit on the left front for Dale Jr. He had a big bounce off the curb that sent him wide. He had Ryan Newman underneath him that he was trying to stay off the 12 car. And well, now he gets into him anyway, so much for that. Junior's lost 2 spots on the restart. He's back to 15th. And Jeff Gordon, by the way, won the race off pit road. Got the restart out in front. Look at Vickers. He made 2 passes going into turn 11. But Dale Jr. is going to make at least 5 if he gets around Rudd. And does. Well, maybe not. He hasn't cleared the 21 yet. And he made 4 passes as Rudd's able to hold clear Junior's still not been in the top 10 yet today. This is as high up in the running order as he has been. Second time he's been in 11th. Boris said, oh, he checked up, and Junior gets slammed from behind by Brian Vickers. Boris said just about came to a complete stop going into the carousel, and Dale Jr. slammed right in the back of him. And a chain reaction of events there that Vickers slammed into Earnhardt. And Boris said is not too pleased with the 8 car of Dale Jr. Even though I'm not sure exactly why said checked up as much as he did. Dale Jr. gonna make a pass on Ricky Rudd for 10th. How is he gonna get around the 36 car? Boris said not going to make this easy for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Said drives it in deep. Dale Jr. drives it in deep. 3 wide. Nobody give it an inch. They're squeezing one another. Dale Jr.'s clear for 9th. You better hope Boris said doesn't get back to him. He will try to wreck him. He didn't come to a complete stop that time in the carousel. I'm playing against the AI because it's a season mode on this game. Yeah, by all means, send me that message, Sean. I'll try to get to it later tonight. Junior up to P8. Hope Martin Truex Jr. and Michael Waltrip are still towards the front of the field. Hopefully they didn't have bad pit stops. Dale Jr. will make the pass for 7th on Sterling Marlin. And actually, I didn't even realize this, but Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s got heavy damage to the right front and the front of the race car. It's in the red on the damage indicator after he had slammed into the back of Boris Said. So he's going to have to be very careful with any contact. And his hood's actually flapping right now, too, which is not good because if he ends up having a debris caution, he's going to be going to the back having to put another hood on that race car, a replacement hood, the backup hood. I don't think he's going to make it to the next stop before that thing falls off, unfortunately. Wonder if you just ride it out and hope that another caution comes out before that, or if you pit under green, you won't go a lap down. You pit under green. Virtual Racing Network, welcome to the stream. Appreciate that comment. Virtual Racing Network. Dale Jr. with a big dive at the last second underneath the 38 car of Elliott Sadler. Will bounce off the curb, but it'll easily clear the 38 for 6th. And he's under 7 seconds off the race lead from Jeff Gordon towards the front of the field. And there goes Dale Jr.'s hood. Caution's out for the 5th time today and the 3rd time for debris. And Dale Jr. is going to have to come onto pit road and he's going to have to repair that damage. And he can't take fuel or tires because he was the one who brought out the yellow, unfortunately. So that was after contact on the restart. It was actually a lap after the restart with the back of Boris Said's race car. And that is very unfortunate. Junior got up to 6th place. That's as high in the running order as he has been today. And to the back he's going to go. The good news is we still have over half the race to go. And obviously Dale Jr.'s got a fast race car. The bad news is he's going to lose all of his track position. 3.3 seconds of damage this time. I saw it flapping a couple laps before that happened. Ethan, welcome to the stream. I didn't shout you out earlier. Sorry about that. I think I've seen everybody else. Davion West. $29 likes already on the stream. Appreciate you guys smashing that like button. And here we go. Green flag back in the air. Looks like there are 2 cars out of the race today. Like I said, I don't think that's going to be the last yellow. We've had 5 already. We're not even halfway. Could this be the record for the most cautions we've seen in a race this season? Dover had 16 yellows. That was the most we've seen in a single race. Big stack up going up the hill. Man, Rusty Wallace fell all the way towards the back. He was in the top 10 earlier, too. Big slide of the tires for Dale Jr. Oh, wow, that was a big block by Wallace. Look at how many spots Michael Waltrip's lost as well. Waltrip was leading and now is outside the top 30. Caution. I don't know if that's debris or if somebody wrecked, but that's our 6th yellow. And it was debris, I just saw it. And it's Kenny Schrader's hood, who we saw, he was flapping earlier on in the race. And the Schwann's car's finally given way. Well, now with Dale Jr. at the rear of the field, that was not a caution that came out for him. I'm not sure where Kenny Schrader got the damage from earlier in the race, but must have been one of the very early restarts at the very beginning. So now with this yellow, Dale Jr., he's at the rear of the field. He's just going to pit for 4 fresh tires. Go off strategy again. It's going to give him with the caution laps ran. He might have about 10 more laps of fuel in his car compared to everybody else's. So he's going to pit. Everybody else will stay out during the 6th yellow. Sexy Bobby, welcome to the stream. It's crazy how smart the AI are in this game, though. I was not expecting Rusty Wallace to block that high. And I had to get on the brakes quicker than what I was expecting to because I didn't want to ram right into the back of him when he threw that block right before the braking zone. Mr. Race Cars that finish races without hoods. The modifieds in the Cup Series, you mean? I remember when they used to cut the fenders off on both sides. The hood was off, it looked like a modified. The grill was wide open. Or I should say the radiator was wide open. A little bit of a mistake on the rear tire changer trying to get up after changing the right rear tire first. Now this is a fairly normal pit stop compared to most ovals. Or I should say just like most ovals. So we're going to have to service the right side of the car before the left side. So a caution-filled race at Sonoma today, and outside of a debris caution for Dale Jr. where his hood fell off, he really, I mean, that in contact with Jimmy Spencer, but Spencer bounced up off the curb after Jr. had made contact with him, and Jimmy was the one who spun out. Only ones that remotely Dale Jr.'s been involved in today. Lap 46 restart, 10 laps shy of halfway. And there will be a trivia question at the halfway mark in today's race, as there usually is. And I do have the question, so I won't have to pause it either. Comment in the chat down below, how many cautions total do you think we'll see today? Because we've already had 6. Will we get to our record 16 on NASCAR 06? Junior going wide. He's not going to get blocked this time. Look at the stack up. He was expecting it. And because nobody went up to block the 8 of Earnhardt that time, he's going to pick up positions. Now remember, Dale Jr. does have fresher tires right now as well. Gains 5 spots already on the opening lap after the restart. Contact with Jimmy Spencer. Spencer's in the wall. Oh my goodness. No caution. Junior got up into the wall as well. Oh brother. Jacob Givens, welcome to the stream. Oh boy, big stack up and a wheel hop from Dale Jr. trying to slow the car up. Oh, he's right back to 35th again. And it's not halfway yet, Derek. Lap 55 would be the halfway mark. Lap 47 right now. Jeff Gordon's dominated the race today. Waltrip's led a little bit. Man, they were all spaced out into the carousel this time. That's why you don't want to be at the back of the pack. Junior on fresh tires. Trying to use it to his advantage and trying to get back up towards the front of the field. He's on the outside of the 00 car of Kenny Wallace. Both the DEI cars of Michael Waltrip, Martin Truex Jr. were side by side there. One car goes really wide, almost into the wall. Trying to make some passes towards that outside lane. Dale Jr. dive bombs. He got into his teammate Truex. Accidentally roughed him up a little bit. Man, just got into him again. Junior a little too aggressive. There were a couple corners trying to get around Truex. 3 wide down to the bottom. Turn number 11. Sounds like one of the drivers who blew an engine earlier in the race is working their way back up onto the racetrack. And it looks like Kyle Petty in the 45 car, who had blown an engine earlier in the day after losing a hood and had some pretty significant damage as well, is going to be down a cylinder. He's coming back on the track to pick up some extra points in case there's any other DNFs, which there is at least one. So there's only 41 cars on the track, so he can pick up at least one spot. With all the cautions we've had today, I would not be surprised if we see more DNFs. Mikey, welcome to the stream. Junior underneath Kyle Busch, trying to make a pass. No, there is a chase. Oh. There's a chase format. Not the one we have today, obviously, with the current playoff format, but the original chase format in this 2005 Cup Series season. Junior locking up the brakes. He's got fresh tires. He's definitely using them as much as he can. Sends it in on Casey Mears for 19th. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. About a dozen green flag laps. Casey Mears just got passed on the outside by Scott Riggs. Well, Riggs couldn't clear him, I guess. Oh, Chase Elliott, not Chase Ford. Oh, okay, gotcha. No, Chase Elliott's not. Oh. Dukes of Hazzard went Travis Quaffle up off the curb and turn 5. Way to the bottom goes Dale Jr. Shot the gap to get around Quaffle, who bobbled, and he accidentally got into McMurray, who was the next car ahead of the 77. Passed one Dodge, but couldn't get around both. On the inside is Dale Jr. underneath the 42 of Jamie McMurray. Drives it in really deep, down to the bottom. He's going to get underneath Scott Wimmer in the 22 car as well. Passes 2 cars in one corner. Cleanly at that, and he's up to 16th. Just over 15 seconds off the lead from Jeff Gordon, who again has dominated today's race. No, AJ Allmendinger's not in this. Whoops. Trying to get around Dale Jarrett on the outside. He almost lost the spot to McMurray instead. Not charge that corner hard enough, especially going the long way around it. 50 laps complete at the start-finish line, this time by Dale Jr. to the inside of Dale Jarrett. A little contact between the 8 and the 88. No pass for position made that time. So again, Dale Jr. on fresher tires has already made his way up to 16th. The field's starting to space out a little bit more, though. Jarrett got to go wide. Oh, up off the curve. Oh my goodness, I thought he was going to flip. Way up on the 2 left side tires was Dale Jarrett. And Dale Jr. sends it to get around Jarrett. Almost got around Ryan Newman in the 12 as well. That was a big opening for Dale Jr. to make that pass after a mistake from the 88. That's a clean way to get around Jarrett for 15th. Couldn't quite get 2 birds with 1 stone there and get around Newman as well. Look to the outside, now to the inside. And he should be able to gas it up and get around Newman into turn number 11, and he does with ease. And is quickly closing on the back of the 36 of Boris Said, who is a rival of Dale Earnhardt Jr., so Jr. is going to have to be careful trying to get around Said. One more lap will go to the onboard camera. Said checked up in the carousel that time. Dale Jr. is right there. Said with a block. And a mirror full of the 8 of Earnhardt. He's underneath of Said for right now. Will Boris Said try to... Oh, no, Dale Jr. is going to run him wide. A little contact between the 36 and the 8. Jr. better run and hide. Get away from him. Didn't mean to get into the side of him. He was trying to make a clean pass, and he ended up entering turn 4, or turn 5 rather, at a more awkward angle than what he had planned on, and drove into the side of Boris Said to make a bump and run pass for 13th. Dale Jr. sends it underneath Terry Labonte in the 44 for 12th, and he does. Clean pass on the 44. Slow car on the racetrack right now, but I believe it's Kyle Petty, who is down a cylinder after blowing an engine earlier in the race and just coming back out a few laps ago. That was a big hop off the curb by Earnhardt. It's hard to tell which way the car was going to slide. Got a mirror full of Labonte at Kellogg's number 44. A 5th Hendrick Motorsports entry. Brian Vickers is a rival of Dale Jr. after Vickers ran into the back of the 8 car in a stack-up earlier where Jr. got in the back of Said, which is where he got the damage in which Dale Jr. had shed debris. That's why Said is a rival and Vickers. Even though Dale Jr. was not at fault in either one of those 2 bits of contact, Boris Said basically came to a stop in the carousel, and Jr. piled right into the back of him. Jr. to the outside of Kevin Harvick. Not going to be able to make a pass. We'll try to cross him over off the curb, but the 8 car could not make the pass on the 29. Did a great job keeping it off of Harvick despite a giant hop off the curb where both front tires seem to have came up off the ground popping a wheelie. NASCAR meets Monster Jam. I did not think the curbs were going to be as violent as they were today. They were not this violent at the Old Spice Speedway in the Truck Series. Harvick just bounced off the curb. I don't know if he ran over it smoothly. Lucky hop for Harvick. That's going to allow Dale Jr. still to get underneath the 29, and he does make a pass for 11th. What does a burnt chicken nugget look like? Black. It's all black. shriveled up, I'd have to imagine. Very dry on the inside. One more lap and we'll be halfway. The longest green flag run is only 10 laps to start this race. Dale Jr. closes on Brian Vickers, trying to pass him for 10th. 15 seconds off the race lead. Jr.'s all over the back of the 25 car. Vickers off the curb, bounces quite a bit. Jr. to the bottom of the racetrack. And he'll make the pass on him. Squeezes between Vickers and Rudd. And now he needs to run away from Vickers. At least he passed him cleanly. 45 car of Kyle Petty, the slow car on the racetrack, is slowing up the 21 of Ricky Rudd. Dale Jr. is trying to pinch Rudd behind Petty. Contact. Rudd is trying to knock the 8 of Earnhardt out of the way. I think they're still side by side. It's hard to tell. Yeah, they were. Jr. finally clears him. Ace of Spades, welcome to the stream. I'm not using manual, no. Using automatic. Game's hard enough with no assists on. Dale Jr. closing in big time on Sterling Marlin in the 40. Battle for 8th. Jr.'s only been as high as 6th place in today's race. We're halfway home, so it's time for tonight's trivia question on the channel. It's Sonoma Track Fact. What year was the quickest Cup Series race in Sonoma Raceway history? That is tonight's trivia question. Pretty plain and simple. What year was the quickest Sonoma race in NASCAR Cup Series history? Dale Jr. just made a pass for 8th on Sterling Marlin. And you only get one answer per person in the chat. One answer per person in the chat. I will not acknowledge a second answer from anybody. Mark DeMar says 2002. That is not correct. First one to get it right, I'll shout you out. Not 2001, not 2005. Oh, wow, that was a power slide. Junior wheel hopped and then he ended up off the curb and hopped a little more. Logano won that race. What year? I don't think he ever won at Sonoma, did he? Davion Westcott at 2018. 2018 was the quickest race in NASCAR Cup Series history at Sonoma. Martin Truex Jr. went on to win. Only 2 cautions. The race finished at 2 hours and 38 minutes. Was the total time. Very quick one. And the only 2 cautions were the 2 stage breaks. No cautions for incident. That was the race in which Martin Truex Jr. outsmarted the field. And Cole Pearn outsmarted the field by pitting twice. Or by pitting once in the final stage and everybody else pit twice. As it stayed green to the end and they were able to win the race by a wide margin of victory. Nobody thought that they could make it a one stop. The tire fall off would be too much, and that was not the case, at least for the 19 of Truex. Yeah, good guess. Yeah, it would have basically been caution-free if it wasn't for the stage breaks. 2019 also didn't have any cautions for incident, but it was a little bit slower. Plus, it was more miles considering they were on the 2.5 mile circuit versus the 1.99 mile circuit. I think the mileage of that race was like 17 miles longer. Help if you're using manual. I think we're alright. We have speed in the race car. It would if I could nail the shifts perfectly, but I just didn't have time to practice. I didn't practice at all going into the race today. I wasn't going to try to figure that out on the fly. The cars are hard to handle in this game as it is without assists on. I didn't want to take the chance of struggling. No, Logano didn't win Sonoma 2019, did he? I do not remember that. I thought Truex won in 2019. Did Logano win Sonoma 2019? I don't really remember that. He did. All right. Well, take your guys' word for it. I was thinking Truex won that race. 2018 is still the answer. I do not remember Logano ever winning at Sonoma. Truex in the 19 won in 20. That's what I thought. I thought Truex won in 2019. I don't think Joey Logano's ever won at Sonoma. Martin ran out of gas. I have no clue what you're talking about, Steven. Elliott has definitely not won at Sonoma. Grayson Light 158. Welcome to the stream, by the way. But Chase Elliott's never won at Sonoma. That I know for a fact. His closest was when he finished second last year. 2021. Dale Jr. up to 7th. Just got around one of the Evernham Dodges that last lap. One more lap will go back to the far chase cam. Remember, Dale Jr. has about 10 more laps of fuel, roughly, give or take, in his car because he pitted during the last caution. So on fresher tires, he's driven his way up to 7th. The field's so spaced out inside the top 10, he's still 13.2 seconds off the lead from Gordon. He's definitely closing on the fresh tires. He's got a long ways to go to catch him yet. Yeah, Chase Elliott's never... That's the only road course he's never won at. Even of all the new ones in the Cup Series, it's still the only one he's never won at. Well, I guess the Indianapolis road course he hasn't won at either, but he only had one try at it last year. Another Evernham Dodge. Good day for them so far. This is the 19 car, Jeremy Mayfield. Casey Kim was the last one Dale Jr. got around. Battle for 6th. About 12.5 seconds off the lead. There's a good chance he'll win someday at Sonoma. No, I thought Truex... I'm gonna look it up right now. Truex won in 2019. He had to have. I do not remember Logano ever winning there. Let's see. 2019 Toyota Save Mart 350. Yeah, Truex won. Truex led 59 laps, won the race. Margin of victory 1.8 seconds over Kyle Busch. Ryan Blaney finished 3rd, Matt DiBenedetto 4th, and Denny Hamlin I thought Truex won in 2019. Joey Logano has... No, he's not won at Sonoma. He was a rookie in 2009. Casey Kane won that year. Then Johnson, then Kurt Busch, then Boyer, then Truex, then Edwards, then Kyle Busch, then Stewart, then Harvick, then Truex, and Larson, Suarez. Yeah, Logano's never won at Sonoma either. I didn't think so. I was going to say, when did Logano win at Sonoma? I did not remember that. I'm surprised I didn't make a mistake after unpausing it there either. Somehow. We'll bounce off the curb by the 19 of Mayfield, but nothing major. Dale Jr. going to drive it in deep. Through 6 and 7. Jr. nailing the S's, trying to reel Mayfield back in again. Into turn 10. Dale Jr. looks low under Mayfield. Oh, he slides. He's in the wall. That was a big hit. He went off into the dirt slash sand slash dead grass and ended up power sliding into the wall and lost a bunch of time to Mayfield. Started fishtailing. Didn't really lose too much time to Gordon, believe it or not. Looks like Kyle Petty's holding up Tony Stewart in the 20 car. Mayfield and Dale Jr. are closing in. Stewart in turn 5, finally going to get around Petty. Dale Jr. to the inside of Mayfield. He's going to try to pick him behind the slow car of Kyle Petty, who's down a cylinder. Second time they've caught the 45. Dale Jr. to 6 with a clean pass that time. Great work of using the lap car to perfection. And now he's not too far behind Stewart to try and get into the top 5 for the first time today. Is Jr. within striking distance to make a pass on Stewart this time in turn 11. He's going to drive it in pretty deep. Not quite going to get underneath him. Stewart hit his marks pretty well too. There's really no room for Earnhardt to drive underneath the 20 of Stewart. Stewart coming off a blown engine at Michigan, despite the fact that he led over 60 laps in the race. The second most. And started on the pole. Lap 120 in which he DNF'd. Led over half the race up to that point. He was obviously competing for a win. Dale Jr.'s underneath Stewart, side by side for 5th. Stewart kept it off the curb. That was a great corner on the outside by Tony, and he was able to hold clear of Earnhardt. Dale Jr. down low again, though. Into turn 6 in the hairpin. He clears Stewart, and Dale Jr.'s in the top 5 for the first time tonight. Took 64 laps, but he's finally inside the top 5. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Remember graphic camera? I can't say I do. Off the top of my head, at least. Well, welcome back. Under your new name. Username. Sure, graphic camera wasn't your actual name. That'd be kind of a weird name. But if it is your name, no offense. I did not mean to offend you. I don't think Jeff Gordon's caught lap traffic outside of 2 times the field has caught the 45 of Kyle Petty, who's down a cylinder. We've had 6 cautions in the race today, but this is the longest green flag run so far. It's going to be a 20-lap green flag run when we get back to the start-finish line this time by. So we restart at lap 46. So 20 laps on Earnhardt's tires, which means that everybody else has about 30 laps on their tires, if not a little more than that. Jr. Still quicker than Gordon. I don't know that Dale Jr. is quicker than Gordon overall if it wasn't for the fresh tires. So he needs to get as close to that 24 car as possible before the pit stops. And is it a one-stop race to the end for everybody outside of Dale Jr., or can Jr. make it a one less stop, being able to go a little bit further than everybody else? He hasn't hit halfway on fuel yet, so I think Jr. is going to be able to make it on one pit stop. I mean, that means he could go at least 40 laps. Your name is Gracie. I figured. I was just joking around. Game is realistic. Jeff Gordon leading at Sonoma, yeah. Anywhere from the mid-2000s, from the 90s into the mid-2000s, Gordon was a force to be reckoned with at the road courses. I believe Gordon has one win on our Cup Series season so far, but he has dominated this race. Michael Waltrip led about 4 to 5 laps roughly before the caution came out when he was in the lead, which I believe was the 3rd or 4th yellow of the race at the time. It would have been the 3rd. Jimmy Spencer was the 4th yellow towards the back of the field. It was the Dale Jarrett wreck. Dale Jarrett getting turned by Harvick and Kenny Wallace piling in turn 5. That caution came out, the field pitted. And ever since then, Jeff Gordon has led. Waltrip might have led more than that, but it definitely wasn't much. And Gordon's led every other lap outside of the few that Waltrip led. Mark Truex Jr., Michael Waltrip have not had great pit stops. Dale Jr.'s crew made a mistake under a stop, but it was the last stop where he was the only car on pit road during the caution, so it didn't really affect him any. But he is closing in on Elliott Sadler for 4th place. May have a shot at him in turn 11. Depends on how hard he's going to send it into the corner. Drives it in deep. All over the back of Sadler. He gave him a little nudge. Didn't knock him loose enough, and Sadler holds on to the position for now. Kyle Petty back on pit road. That's going to be an easy way for Dale Jr. and the leaders to get by him. I'll having to deal with him again, at least for a little while. Jr. closes again in the carousel. He's all over the back of Sadler. Into 3. 4, and then into the chute in turn 5. Trying to force Sadler into a mistake. Sadler off the curb. Big bounce. That allows Earnhardt to get underneath him. Into turn 6. Dale Jr. is going to take the lead away with a clean pass on Sadler for 4th. Every position he gains from here on out, it is a race high in the position running order for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Think it'll go green the rest of the way? If you're asking me, I don't think so. I still think we're going to see some cautions. Will we make green flag pit stops before then? I think it's definitely possible. Game's pretty realistic. Yeah, Jeff Gordon's leading at Sonoma in 2005, and Kyle Petty's already down a cylinder and many laps down. Kyle Petty come back out on the track? Or did he pit and stay in? That was the second time he's had engine issues. Billy Kramer says 3 more cautions. A lot of the guesses when I asked you guys after that 6th yellow in the first 46 laps, a lot of you guys were saying at least double-digit cautions. I don't think anybody guessed single digits. Things have backed off, though. Cautions were breeding cautions when they were coming out to have 6 in the first 46 laps, though. But now that we've actually gotten enough green flag laps under our belt, the field's pretty spaced out. halfway on field for Dale Jr. So it looks like he ran about 23 laps, which means about 46 laps is what Dale Jr. can run on a full tank. Another 23 from now, that would take him to about lap 92, which means he'll have about 19 laps to go when he pits. If the field pits, let's say 10 to 15 laps before Dale Jr., which would likely be the case, they should be able to make it on field to the end as well. Considering we have 40 laps to go this time by, I believe the field window is open to the end of the race, and I would not be surprised if we start to see some drivers pit early in case we get a caution. And then if you pit early, you stay on the lead lap if you're close enough towards the front of the field, then you have a shot to cycle up towards the front if we do get a yellow, and you'd have that track position. So it would definitely be bold, but if you pit too early and something like that happens, then obviously you're going to have really old tires to the end of the race with that track position. Probably why we haven't seen anybody pit yet. But I would imagine somebody's going to try it sometime soon. So it should be a fuel mileage race. Everybody should easily be able to make it on just one more stop, which would mean Dale Jr. will pit 3 times out of technicality. The rest of the field will pit twice. Gets underneath the 99 of Carl Edwards. A little love tap as they battle for position. Currently for third is the battle. 6.7 seconds off the lead is Dale Jr. He's definitely closed on Gordon. It's taken a long time from the back of the field to the front, even on at least 10 lap, if not more, lap pressure tires, but he is slowly getting there. If he can catch him before the pit stops, that would be ideal. That'd probably be the best chance he's going to have of passing him, because I don't know if he's got the speed to actually keep up with him on normal pace. Junior with a dive bomb into turn 6, trying to make the pass on Edwards. Can't clear him side by side. Into the S's. This is a very narrow area of the racetrack to run side by side. And Edwards is going to be able to hold on. Dale Jr. just that bounce off the curb. It didn't look like he really made a mistake, but Edwards was able to get a better drive off. But Junior drives it in deep into turn number 10, and he gets right back underneath Edwards again. And he's going to be in great position to get around him in turn 11. He's going to lock the tires up just a little bit. Still gets the turn in the race car and clears Edwards for P3. 6.8 seconds off the lead still. That battle's over. 39 laps to go. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race over the next dozen laps, which will likely lead us in and probably through the final set of stops today. Dale Jr. has not led at all. This is as high as he has been in a running order. Trying to run down the top 2. You can definitely see second place. I saw Gordon up over the hill just a little bit further ahead of second. Probably a few seconds ahead of him. Probably an even gap, about 2 to 3 seconds ahead is second. It looks like Michael Waltrip is on pit road. He is one of the cars likely short pitting. Hopefully he's not out of the race with an engine failure. He's the only other driver outside of Gordon to lead laps today. And I think if Jeff Gordon pits, if you're Dale Jr., you have to pit with him. Gordon stays out that time. I think that's Kurt Busch in the 97 car who's in second place just up ahead. Tomorrow night's race will be the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. It'll be the next race of the Do It For Dale series, trying to get Dale Earnhardt Jr. his first career NASCAR Nextel Cup Series championship. Never won one in the longevity of his Cup career. Trying to get him one on NASCAR 06. Okay, I was going to say, I was getting scared there. Waltrip just exited pit road. I was going to say, he was there for a while. Starting to wonder if he blew an engine. He's definitely a lap down because he was further back in the field. Lab car is holding up Kurt Busch. That's Ryan Newman, who just came off pit road a little bit ago. He's on cold tires, trying to heat him up before trying to drive away from Kurt Busch. It has held Kurt Busch up enough that Dale Jr. has closed on the back of the 97. We have a battle for second, 5 seconds off the race lead from the 24 of Gordon. Kurt goes wide in the dirty air behind Newman. Dale Jr. to the inside, underneath Kurt Busch. Makes the dive bomb. Also dives underneath the 12 of Ryan Newman, up off the curb. He cleared Busch, but I think Kurt Busch actually pit that last lap. Terry Labonte on the bottom. Dale Jr. trying to steer clear of Labonte as Terry gets up to speed. Dale Jr. still behind the 12 of Newman. It's going to be tough to pass him with Newman being on fresher tires. Martin Truex Jr. is on pit road. Dale Jr. 4.5 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. Again, when will Gordon pit? The window's open. Gordon going to stay out. So Jr. will stay out again as well. Kurt Busch is already pit. He's got to be gaining some sort of track position. Dale Jr. gets into Ryan Newman. I'll turn the 12 car. 45 of Kyle Petty. Oh, just up ahead. Jr. overran the corner. In turn 1, Petty threw a late block on him. Jr. ducks out of the way at the last second, trying to get around Petty, and finally does in the carousel. Petty still without a hood. They haven't attached another one on the car this entire race. He was in the garage and they still didn't attach another one to the hood. That slowed Dale Jr. up a little bit. Gordon stays out again. "35 laps to go. Wine Country, Infineon Raceway. For race 16. 10 races to go in the regular season before the chase. After today, and the next race again will be under the lights at Daytona for the Pepsi 400. And that will be tomorrow night, with our coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. The Daytona 500 was one of the best races of the season. The second super speedway race of the Cup Series season at Talladega, a 3-wide photo finish, and the closest finish on channel history at that, where Dale Jr. won in the middle lane, ahead of 2 Roush cars of Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards. Jr. is on Gordon on pit road this time. Dale Jr. does not pit. Junior's going to stay out on the racetrack. He's going to get 5 bonus points for leading this lap. So Junior will lead for the first time today. He'll get 5 bonus points just in case he doesn't lead it all later. Needs the points. He's 6th on the standings coming in. And Junior will pit this time by. So Gordon may gap him a little bit, pitting 1 lap earlier. I wonder if there's a chance Kurt Busch could actually come out with the race lead. So I don't think that's impossible. First green flag stop of the day. Gonna have to make sure you do not speed if you're Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he's gonna slow it down. And does not speed. Easily gets to pit road in time. He's going to top off on fuel. No adjustments. 4 tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He got 5 bonus points leading the last lap. He had stayed out on the racetrack 1 lap longer than Jeff Gordon and about 4 or 5 laps longer than second place Kurt Busch, who pitted from second. Dale Jr. was in third when the leaders started to pit. Yeah, 6th in points going into the race today. I'm 247 back from Carl Edwards for the points lead, the number 1 seed. Oh, and another mistake on pit road for the 18, but this time it's going to be under green flag conditions. The rear tire changer had problems with the gun, and that's the 2nd mistake by the rear tire changer today. And this is a lengthy pit stop. 17, 18, 19, 20, 20.6 second stop. And that is going to cost Dale Earnhardt Jr. The money stop was definitely not on the money. He's going to lose a spot to Elliott Sadler. He's going to be in 4th place. He's going to lose 2 spots. Carl Edwards got around him too as he was getting up to speed. That is unbelievable. Two spots lost, and Dale Jr. goes from 4.5 seconds off the lead to 11 seconds off the lead. And he's got equal tires for the most part as Gordon. He's going to drive it in deep into turn number 6. He's going to get back around Carl Edwards in the 99 with a clean pass for 4th. And Sadler in the 38 car just up ahead in that M&M's Ford. Trying to hang on, unfortunately, as well. Junior with a dive into turn 10 under Sadler. He can't waste any time. Junior driving it in hot. Into turn 11. Goes a bit wide, but he cleared Sadler first. Teresa Earnhardt's firing that guy. Yes, she is. If Dale Jr. doesn't win, at least. If Dale Jr. wins, his job's going to be saved. 2 mistakes, but that one under green flag conditions. Dale Jr. lost 7 seconds to Jeff Gordon. 7 seconds was lost because of that stop. Now, some of the time was gained for Gordon because he had pitted a lap before, so I would not be surprised if he would have extended that lead by maybe a second, but not 7 seconds. That was a 20.6 second stop. Closing in on the 45 of Kyle Petty through the chute into turn 6. Junior's easily going to clear him. Petty, again, without a hood. They'll probably catch him a few more times before the end of the race yet. Junior is running a little bit faster than Jeff Gordon right now. I think it's because Gordon's dealing with heavy lap traffic, and outside of Kyle Petty, who was very, very slow off the pace and easy for Earnhardt to pass, Dale Jr. hasn't caught any other lap cars. We still have one more field pass yet in this race yet today. We'll have 30 laps to go this time by. It'll be a handful of laps before we get to that. Longest green flag run of the race by far up to this point, as we have gone 35 laps this time by on this current green flag run. We just went through green flag pit stops, and everybody should be good on fuel at the end of this race. Everybody pretty much kind of short pitted to the end. There might be some cars that still have to pit, but out of the ones at the very front of the field, they have already pit. Big bounce off the curb for Dale Jr., and he went very, very slow trying to catch the race car through the sand. That was very strange. It almost like it knocked the car out of gear for a second. And he goes from 7 seconds off the lead to 8.5 back again. was a giant bounce off the curb for Dale Jr., probably the worst one he's had today. That was similar to some of the bounces we saw for Dale Jarrett and others earlier on. Jamie McMurray had a wild one. Jarrett obviously wrecked off the curb earlier. The exit of turn 5. Still 30 to go. Junior's just led that one lap during green flag pit stops. That's it. Oh, jeez. Junior's just flat out overdriving it now. He's got plenty of time to catch him. It's all going to just debate on lap traffic, because I think Gordon's dealing with heavy lap traffic, and that's why Dale Jr. is coasting in, because I don't know that Jr. was that much faster than Gordon, if he was faster at all, on equal tires. But if you look on the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you can definitely tell Gordon's dealing with quite a bit of it. I think Kurt Busch is catching him, too, because of it. Remember, he's in second. Yeah, good thing this isn't NASCAR 21 ignition. They'd be egregious with it. It wasn't really a corner cut, though, because I slowed down. I lost time through it. The corner cut's if you gain time while cutting a corner. If you give time up, 9 times out of 10, you won't be penalized. Dale Jr. almost came to a complete stop on accident just because he kind of got stuck in the sand. Ethan Elliott, welcome to the stream. Dale Jr. 5.3 seconds back of Gordon. Looks like Kurt Busch is the next car in front of Dale Jr., not a lap car. Kurt Busch pitting about 3 to 4 laps before Gordon allowed him to close time on the 24 car. Kurt Busch, Dale Jr. gaining on Gordon until at least they catch lap traffic. Big bounce off the curb for Earnhardt. Knocked him a little bit wider than what he wanted to through turn 4. Into turn 5, driving it hard, trying to catch Kurt Busch. Looks low on the 97 car. Not going to be able to get underneath him that time, but very close. Lap car in the 169, just in front of the battle for second. It's the first lap car that both Kurt Busch and Dale Jr. will have to pass. That is not Kyle Petty in the 45. Through turn 9, into turn 10. Jr. to the inside. Kurt Busch holds him tight. Down to turn 11. Busch drives it in deep. So does Earnhardt. 3 wide with the lap car up high. Jr. on the curbing. Beautiful corner by the 8. Oh, he got into the lap car. Didn't realize the lap car was clear of both of them still. Jr. to second, though. Dale Jr. is in second place. Kurt Busch trying to get back around Dale. Side by side, the lap car of the 169 is holding up both Kurt Busch and Dale Jr. right now. Both trying to desperately get around him. Up off the curb. Oh, Kurt Busch got in the back of him that time. Kurt into the back of the 169 car, more towards the right rear corner panel. Stacked them both up, and Jr. will get around both of them between turn 5, the chute, into 6. And clear, and pulling away in the S's. And now it's just less than 3 seconds behind Jeff Gordon with a couple lap cars between the two. First one will be John Andretti in the 14. 2.5 seconds off the lead. Jimmy Spencer's the next lap car ahead of John Andretti, of course, a rival of Dale Jr. One of 3 in this race. Oh boy. Well, this is going to make things interesting. 36 to go. 26 to go, rather. Less than 2 seconds off the lead. Junior trying to get around Andretti. These lap cars are holding up all the leaders, really. Junior drives underneath Andretti that time. Andretti's holding him pretty tightly. Off the curb goes Andretti, and Junior got into him. For the 14, it checked up just a bit. And now Dale Jr. is going to have to deal with Jimmy Spencer, unfortunately. He's going to try to set him up so he can pass him in turn 11. He can get through turn 10 well enough, which for the most part Junior has today. Spencer left a little bit of the bottom open. And not enough for Dale Jr. to try and make the pass on Spencer in this corner. That got dangerously tight. Spencer's holding up Dale Jr. We're going to take our second and final field pass of the race for right now. We'll see what Michael Waltrip in the 15 car is doing for the time being. And right now, Michael Waltrip running right behind Kyle Petty in the 45. We'll get to the inside of Petty and pass him in turn 5. Waltrip in 29th. One of the last cars on the lead lap. Is right in line behind his teammate Truex. To think Waltrip was leading early in this race. And Truex was as high as 7th at one point in this race as well. And a 3-car battle between themselves and Joe Nemechek for 27th. Oh, Truex just ran into the side of his teammate. Waltrip beat him off the exit of turn 10. Deep dive to the bottom in 11. Passes Truex and Nemechek, the 1 and the 0-1. Can't wait for Road America. Yeah, should be a fun one. It was fun being there in person last year, so it'll be interesting to watch it on TV this year. Trip to the outside of Casey Mears. Now will be on the inside in the next corner. Turns 3 and 4. Hoping I can drive Waltrip up to about 15th, not 15th, but drive Waltrip up to maybe 20th. And hopefully Dale Jr. is still keeping up enough pace right now to gain on Gordon. He was working with Jimmy, trying to work around Jimmy Spencer for the moment. I figured that was a good time to go through the second and final field pass of the race. Well, Junior's trying to get around Jimmy Spencer. Maybe he won't wreck him if it's up to the AI to do so. Dale Jr. making a pass on Mike Bliss. Bliss not having a good run today. He came in 1 point below the cutoff line. One point below the cutoff line was Bliss on Ryan Newman in the 12 into today's race. Waltrip to the outside of Leffler for a bump and run to get around Biffle through turn 12. And they kink that final corner before the start-finish line. Waltrip to 22nd right now. Waltrip's got a run on Scott Wimmer in the 22 car. Side by side in the S's. A little bit of contact. Waltrip makes the pass on Wimmer nonetheless for 21st. 2 more laps after this one, and then we'll drive as Mark Truex Jr. for handful of laps and then go back with Dale Jr. for the rest of the race. And we'll have probably just over 15 laps to go by that time. Gordon continues to lead. By far has already clinched the most laps led. He's going to have a 10 bonus point performance today. Big bounce off the curb for Waltrip. Didn't knock him too out of shape through the carousel. Turn 2. Kyle Busch off the curb. Waltrip to the inside. He'll take over 20th. Well, I was right on driving the 15 car back inside the top 20. It's 22nd in points, so who knows? Maybe he can get a top 20 and actually gain some spots in the standings. Finishing higher where he is in the standings will help. Plus, he had 5 bonus points for leading the lap today. We'll bump and run on Mark Martin in the 6. Locking the brakes up to get by Martin in turn 11. Waltrip's 52 seconds off the lead still. In 19th. Waltrip looking low under Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. Side by side through turn 5. Little contact. Waltrip almost spun out. Little changing gears when he made the contact. So he was able to catch it a little bit quicker. I think he'll be able to get around McMurray in turn number 11, and that will put Waltrip to 17th. Definitely closed in turn 10. Drives underneath the 42 car. And Waltrip is up to P17. Well, the rest is up to him. He stayed out of trouble today, but the picture has definitely costed him. Now we'll go to Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car, who's a little bit further back. 29th is Truex. Still a little ways yet ahead of Jeff Gordon, the race leader. We'll run 4 laps with the 1 car. And then with Dale Jr. the rest of the way after that. 20 laps to go this time by for Gordon. Will this race stay green to the end? Which I did not think was going to be possible. Makes a quick pass on Nemechek. Off the exit of turn 4. Big bounce off the curb for Nemechek. All 4 tires came up off the ground. Saw that out of the rear view of the 1. Truex hooks the curb. Helped him actually turn really well and cleared Casey Mears. I think we can get Truex inside the top 20 over a 4-lap stretch. Battling Scott Riggs in the 10. Riggs thought about blocking him, and Truex backed out of the gas. Truex passed him on the outside off the exit of turn 10. Mike Bliss blocking Truex right now as they battle for position. Truex makes the pass. Little crisscross, got around Bliss on the outside and got around Leffler on the inside in the very next corner in turn 4. And will pull away through 5. Martel Antoine, welcome to the stream. 37 likes on the stream so far. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. You guys have done an awesome job with that tonight. It's been fun. Seen a lot of you guys in the chat, both new and familiar faces. Thanks for sticking out the majority of tonight's race. A little bit of a sluggish start, but a pretty quick race pace in the second half. We have not had a restart since lap 46, despite having 6 cautions before then. Field has really mellowed out. We're driving as Martin Truex Jr. right now in our final field pass of the race. He's up to 23rd. 2 more laps and we'll drive as Dale Jr. the rest of the way. We left Jr. off 1.3 seconds off the lead from Jeff Gordon. Gordon has dominated the race so far today. Big block by Wimmer in turn 1. On Truex. Truex all loose off the curbing. Almost lost control. Big train of cars coming up. I think Kyle Petty's slowing some of them up. I see him up here. Yep, there's Petty slowing up Kyle Busch. Truex going to get around the 5 and the 45. Petty without a hood. Has been for a large majority of the race today. And not only that, but he blew an engine earlier. He came back out onto the track after blowing an engine. That was even after he lost his hood, which was the first caution way back at lap 10 for debris, which was the second longest green flag run of the race when we went 10 laps caution-free to kickstart things today. Truex hard on the binders. Slides his way past Mark Martin and Michael Waltrip's dropping back. We left him off in 17th, and now he's back to 19th. Truex is up inside the top 20. One more lap will drive with him. We're probably going to get around Waltrip, I'd have to imagine. Watch the 1 and the 15 both finish outside the top 20. And we leave them the rest of the race. Truex going to make the pass on Matt Kenseth. Clean one, big bounce off the curb for Kenseth. Truex to the inside of his teammate Waltrip. He'll make a pass there as well. That's for 18th. 2 more spots up for grabs on the 2 Dodges of Travis Kvapil and Jamie McMurray. Truex alongside McMurray. McMurray with a block. Through 9 and 10. Into turn 10. Truex underneath the 42. Contact between them. Truex locking up the brakes. Drives it in hard, uses up the 77 for 16. And for the rest of this race, we'll drive as Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8. Jeff Gordon continues to lead right now. Dale Jr. is about 3.2 seconds off the lead as we'll be driving to 16 laps to go this time by. So he's lost a little bit of time in lap traffic since we last left him. Gordon got held up big time, though, in turn 11. And the race is on with 16 to go. Closing in on lap 100. Dale Jr.'s led just 1 lap today, and it was in the middle of green flag stops. The only set of green flag stops we've had so far. Remember, his pit crew made a mistake. The rear tire changer was having problems with the air gun on the right rear tire, and it costed him because it was a 20.6 second stop. At the time of the pit stops, Jr. was 4.2 seconds off the lead. Big bounce off the curb by Shane Meal there. Jr. should be able to get around him in the next corner. But after that 20.6 second stop, he went from 4.2 seconds off the lead to 11.3 seconds off the lead. Lost over 7 seconds to Gordon, even though he pitted just 1 lap after Jeff. But it's been a struggle in lap traffic for a lot of cars, and that includes Jeff Gordon right now because Kyle Petty's holding up both Schrader and Wallace. He thought about going 3 wide, thought better of it, and Gordon is being held up massively right now. Dale Jr.'s got nowhere to go. Schrader runs into the back of the 45, and Jr.'s going to dive bomb underneath Jeff Gordon in the next corner. He locks the brakes up, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to lead at Infineon with 15 to go. I was wondering why Gordon was losing so much time. He was 3.2 seconds ahead just a lap and a half ago, and now Dale Jr.'s out in front. Gordon not done yet. To the outside in the carousel, but he's not going to be able to get to the lead that time. Maybe that was a setup corner. 24 is by far led the most laps today. Can he keep up with the 8 though? A lot more lap traffic where that came from. There is still time left to the end of the race. Again, will stay green to the finish as well. Junior trying to go for his 7th win of the season. Obviously, this is the first road course race of the year, and be 2 wins in the last 3 races as he won at Pocono 2 races ago in a 50% race, which at that time was the 4th and final 50% race of the season. Next lap car ahead of Dale Jr. is the 2 of Rusty Wallace. Dale's got a 1.3 second lead on Gordon and is pulling away. Junior with the deep dive. Still can't get to the inside of Rusty Wallace right now. At some point, Junior's going to have to pull alongside Rusty. Looks like he will in turn 10. And Dale Jr. will make the pass on the 2. Blue Deuce will go a lap down. Dale Jr. 2.5 ahead with 13 laps to go at the Infineon Raceway. After starting last with no practice and qualifying, Dale Jr. was very patient at the start of the race and just methodically worked his way through the field. And it took him till about 15 laps to go to find his way to the front. But better late than never. Ice the Monkey 92 Hammer, welcome to the stream. It's a good thing this was a 100% race, because Dale Jr. would not have been able to get it done if it wasn't. Didn't know 06 saves your setups at each track. I'm hoping it does, because I haven't been jotting them down on a piece of paper at all. So the tracks that I have gone to, like Pocono was really good. Richmond, I had a really good car. I'm hoping it saves those setups. Jiffy Lube's employees better than Bubba's pick crew. Welcome to the stream. That statement may be accurate. And Dale Jr. is definitely scooting away. He's over 2.5 seconds ahead of Gordon. Jr. never made any adjustment changes. I almost wonder if Jeff Gordon might have made some in the wrong direction on that final green flag stop. for Dale Jr. to be able to finally catch him and then pull away from him in these final 15 laps. Lap traffic allowed for Jr. to get there quicker, but he was slowly closing in prior. Should catch Kyle Petty one more time before the end of the race, and that would be it. Oh no! That was a big moment for Jeff Green right in front of the leader. Dale Jr. got hard on the brakes, trying to keep it off of Green. And that slowed Jr. up quite a bit. Goes from a 2.5, roughly 2.7 second lead down to a 2-second even lead over Green. He's going to have to get around this 43 car. I thought for a second Green was going to spin out right in front of the leader. That would have been terrible if Dale Jr. had piled in. Would have had to pit. Fuel or tires, too. Be careful not to cause a yellow here. Just can't quite get to the inside of Green that time. And Jeff Green is slowing up Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's going to have to get around him. There's going to be a lot of clean air if Jr. can get around Green. 10 laps to go right now. He's going to have to be careful not to be too aggressive. He doesn't want to spin him out. Auto collisions class is better and we're kids. And we goofs. Jeff Green didn't hit the curb that time off the exit of turn 5. 10 laps to go. Gordon has a second wind and is slowly closing on Dale Jr. See if Jr. can set Green up for turn 11 again. If he gets through the S as well, I think he's going to have a shot. And he is not quite underneath Green yet. Into turn 10. He's going to drive underneath him. Side by side. Side by side into turn 11. Dale Jr. on the bottom. Hugs the curbing. Slides wide. Clear. 2 seconds ahead of Gordon. And now he could go back to pulling away as he's finally gotten ahead of Green. 9 laps to go for Dale Jr. Jeff Green's not done battling the 8 car right now. Junior's staying in front of him for the moment, but let's keep it a lot. Oh, we got a car blowing up. One car has blown an engine and is trying to make it to pit road. Don't want that to cause a caution. That's Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. That's going to slow up Jeff Gordon and a lot of cars behind him. Hopefully nobody runs into Kenseth. And we can stay green. That has widened the lead out temporarily for Dale Jr. 4.7 seconds ahead of Gordon now. A lot more breathing room. Almost doubled his lead. Eight laps to go at the line for the number 8 to get win number 7 on the season in the first 16 races. Hoping that lap car has made it into the pits by now, which I would think he probably has. Big wad up over here, and I wonder if it's Kyle Petty in the 45. So I figured we were going to catch him one more time in this race today. So about a 4.8 second lead. Junior over about a half a lap has opened the lead up about an extra tenth, so he's about 0.2 of a second quicker than Gordon as of right now, and there's no lap traffic around either car. And there's Petty. One more time, Dale Jr. will catch him, and he'll catch him quickly, getting around both him and Kenny Wallace through turn 11. So that means that Jeff Gordon's going to have to get around Kyle Petty one more time, and he's kind of struggled the last couple times to get around him. Halfway on field for Dale Jr., but again, everybody's plenty good on field at the end of the race. 7 laps to go. They all pitted within a few laps of each other. Junior pitted with 34 laps to go. We go about 46 laps on a full tank of fuel. Dale Jr. never won on a road course in his NASCAR Cup Series career, trying to get his first today. Did it the hard way, from the back to the front. Took the fresh tire advantage, which drove himself up to a race-high third-place position before the final set of pit stops. That could have been the difference maker, especially with it staying green in that stretch. That was the best thing for him. So yes, he did pit an extra time because he pitted during that caution when nobody else did. But it obviously has worked out. 5.5 second lead, and he has the lead with 6 to go. The only thing that could really ruin him now is a caution. And if it happens late enough, the race will likely come to an end. If it happens after a couple more laps. Junior into the 31 of Jeff Burton. Gonna make the pass on him. Five laps to go this time by. And even Jimmy Johnson in the 48's about to go a lap down. I don't know how many cars have been lapped. I can't imagine many of them have been lapped. Definitely the most congested the lap traffic has been for Dale Jr. since he has led, but at the same time, they're more spaced out than what I originally thought they were when I looked at them up ahead. I think initially Kyle Petty was stacking them up, and then once they got around the 45, they started to pull away before Junior caught the 45. And he shouldn't have to catch him another time the rest of this race. To the outside of Jimmy Johnson. That's not going to work. Johnson is a teammate of Jeff Gordon, of course. So he's probably going to try to hold up the 8 car as much as he can to help his teammate out. 4 laps to go. Gordon about a half a second quicker than Dale Earnhardt Jr. that last lap. But he's going to have to up the pace even more than that if he's going to catch Dale Jr. Johnson off the curb, didn't bother him too much. It's going to go really wide in turn 6, but Dale Jr. can't make the pass on him. Into the S's. Johnson's blocking Earnhardt quite a bit right now. Into turn 10. Junior into the back of the 48. Oh, and he got into him again. Finally got around him. Four and a half second lead, 3 to go. And Johnson's now a lap down. Jimmy battle into the outside of Dale Jr. He's not done. Junior with a block. I think Johnson's fighting for his teammates' pride right now. Trying to make his predecessor, his master, happy. Team orders are in play. We get to the final lap. And the next flag will be the checker. Junior quickly to the inside of Joe Nemechek. He's going to put the 0-1 car lap down. He got underneath him in turn 10. He'll make the clear pass through turn 11. Back to a 5.5 second lead with 2 laps to go for Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think Nemechek just drove it into the wall in the kink in turn 12. Not a dominating win by any means. Junior's only going to go on to lead anywhere between 15 to 17 laps today, but the most important 15 at the end of the race. He is definitely going to be able to lead. Lap 96. They took the lead away from Jeff Gordon. Hasn't looked back since, and is trying to get to the white flag. He's less than a half a lap away from doing so. Caution comes out now. The race would end under yellow anyway. And Junior should be able to get around Casey Mears in turn 11 this time. Comes in it really, really flat. Hugs the curbing. Laps Mears. White flag this time by. Junior a second faster than Gordon that last lap. 7-second lead for Earnhardt at the line. Final lap of the race. No melee in front of him. It's Earnhardt's to lose. Not sure that he's going to gain any points on Carl Edwards. Edwards was in fifth the last we saw of him. But I think he can gain at least a few spots in the standings today with a win. Mike Bliss not having a good day is going to put him a lot further ahead of the cutoff line, and will likely move Kevin Harvick, if I had to imagine, up to 11th. Although Harvick hasn't had a great day either. He had that debris caution. Brought out the second yellow of the race with his hood coming off. So he might not have ran well if he even finished. Junior to the outside of Riggs. He's just going to spare Scott Riggs in this final corner. And Riggs will finish on the lead lap as the last car on the lead lap. Through the kink, checkered flag in the air, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has finally won a NASCAR road course race. His first career road course victory. And it will come at the Infineon Raceway in Wine Country, Sonoma, California. Winning the first of the season out of 2 road course races on the year. Watkins Glen coming up in a handful of races towards the end of the regular season. Maybe a threat to win there as well. No qualifying or practice needed for Dale Jr. tonight. Great win for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pretty good race. And we'll check out those finishing results. And it looks like Carl Edwards didn't even get a top 10 today. He was in 5th at one point, so we'll check that out in a little bit. 8 seconds was the margin of victory. 8 lead changes total. I don't know how accurate that is. I'm trying to think. Gordon started on the pole, led. Waltrip led. Gordon took it back from Waltrip on the restart. Dale Jr. took it from Gordon for 1 lap. Gordon took it back. There must have been some other drivers who were... No, because Dale Jr. was the last car to pit. We'll just take it for granted. 8 lead changes today. 6 cautions for 18 caution laps. 71.91 miles per hour was the average race speed. 3 hours, 2 minutes total time on tonight's race. Again, Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the win, leading 18 laps of the 110. Jeff Gordon led the most laps today, dominated for the most part from the pole, but finished second with 83 laps led of the 110, led all but 27 laps. Kurt Busch ends up finishing in 3rd place. He had a great day, was top 5 pretty much all day long. Elliott Sadler had a great day as well, despite not leading the lap, finishes 4th, and Tony Stewart rounds out the top 5. Jeremy Mayfield in 6th, Casey Kane 7th, both the Evernham Dodgers with solid top 10 runs. Ricky Rudd finishes in 8th, Kevin Harvick 9th, and Brian Vickers rounds out the top 10 today. So good finish for Harvick despite having some significant damage throughout. Ryan Newman, the guy he's trying to catch for that final spot to make it in on points for the chase, finished 11th, so not too many spots behind him, but outside the top 10 compared to Harvick's 9th, so he will gain a little bit. Neither driver led laps. Mike Bliss rallied to finish 14th. He was back at 25th there late in the going. He needed that. He doesn't lose too many points to Newman compared to what I thought he was going to lose. Big for Dale Jr. to win the race, though, with those guys finishing 9th or worse. And with no laps led. Truex finishes 19th. Not a great day, despite running as high as 7th at one point early in the race. Michael Waltrip was the last car in the lead lap. He led 8 laps earlier today, but somehow finished 25th. Lost a lot of spots during the first pit stop of the day, I believe, during the caution period. That was a tough break for him. Started 6th. Qualified well. He ran well early, but after that first stop, that car was not the same. And once he was back in traffic, it was game over. Finished 25th, unfortunately. And we had quite a few DNFs in today's race. Bobby Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Kyle Petty, who was the first driver who blew an engine, came back out on the track. Still finished 29 laps down, but finished 41st. He passed 2 cars coming out of the pits. Watkins, one of the fantasy drivers, DNF'd. Carl Edwards blew an engine with 13 laps to go. Relegated him to a 39th place finish. So the points leader, Edwards, back-to-back races, no top 10s. Only 3 races total on the year he hasn't finished in the top 10. This is his 2nd DNF. Matt Kenseth DNF'd very late. We saw him blow an engine. Luckily, everybody missed him. And then everybody else would have finished the race. So 6 drivers failed to finish. Coincidentally, 6 cautions in today's race as well. We'll check out the point standings before we get out of here for the night. But first, there's Dale Jr. in victory lane. Awesome. Dale Jr. breaks through once again. Everybody hit that like button on your way out as well. We'll check out the point standings. It's going to be an interesting one at Daytona tomorrow night. The Cup Series races on the Super Speedways have been absolutely spectacular. One of the best Daytona 500s, if not the best Daytona 500 on the channel. Well, okay, I'd probably say the 2nd best Daytona 500 on the channel. I think the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode debut was probably the best one, but for the circumstances in which we won it under. But anyway, this one, this season was pretty good. It was definitely the best of the EA Sports games, even though I finished 25th. So that's saying how good of a race it was. Then we had a 3-wide photo finish. 3 1,000ths of a second separating the top 2. 1 1,000th of a second separated first and second place at the start-finish line at the end. And it was Dale Jr. who got the win at Talladega in that last Super Speedway race for the Cup Series. Now, the Super Speedway races for the Truck and the Busch Series I've been terrible at, and the Daytona 500 obviously I was terrible at. So really, outside of that 500-mile Aaron's 499 at Talladega, I've not been good on the super speedways on this game, but we'll see if we can turn it around under the lights in a 400-mile race at Daytona this time instead of 500. I think I was right up there around the lead after 400 miles of the 500, so I do have confidence that I can definitely run well, and of course DEI is always fast on the super speedway, so we've got that going for us also. But that will be the next race again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe will be the start time. Let me double check that just to make sure. But I believe that will start at 8 p.m. Yep, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night will be race number 17. 40 likes on the stream. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button. You guys are awesome with that tonight. Dale Jr. goes from 227 points out of first, 247 points out of first, to now only 108 out of first. Carl Edwards is still the points leader. He had over a one-race lead in the standings. That's a second DNF of the year. He has a 69-point lead, nice, over Tony Stewart in second, 82 over Gordon in third. Look at that. The top 7... The top 7 are within one race worth of points of one another. That is insane. And that's after 16 races? After that DNF from Carl Edwards. What a points battle it's going to be. And considering the fact we only have 10 races left in the regular season, that regular season championship battle is going to be huge to try and get that #1 seed for when the chase starts. Mike Bliss has moved inside the top 10. Bobby Labonte's DNF drops him from 8th in points to 11th. So despite the fact that both Bliss and Newman finish outside the top 10 because they just finished the race, they move ahead of Bobby Labonte. And what a miracle season to be if Mike Bliss can make the chase. He is definitely the underdog of the year so far. 10 top 10s coming into tonight's race. He didn't get one today, finished 14th, but again, he finished the race. Bobby Labonte did not. And that puts Mike Bliss 143 points above Labonte, above the cutoff line. And Labonte not that far ahead of Kevin Harvick. A little bit of a gap between Harvick and Kyle Busch. Truex falls in points 2 spots from 17th to 19th, unfortunately. And Michael Waltrip fell 2 spots as well from 22nd to 24th. Alright, that's going to wrap up tonight's stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at Daytona for the Pepsi 400 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we got the W tonight, 7th win of the year for Dale Earnhardt Jr. We'll see if he can go back-to-back and get an 8th and potentially get a 3rd win in the last 4 races if he can go to victory lane tomorrow. Now, I will say, I have never won at Daytona in the Cup Series on an EA Sports video game. The Cup or the Truck Series on an EA Sports game. Cup Series... going into tomorrow night, I believe it will be the 12th attempt, if I'm not mistaken. Let me think, just to make sure here. Daytona 500 on NASCAR 06. And then I would have had 5 Daytona races in 04, and then 5 in 05. So yeah, this will be the 12th attempt to try and win a Cup race at Daytona on a NASCAR EA Sports video game. I am 0 for 11 going into tomorrow night. We'll see if I can finally break through after 12 seasons of trying. Well, not seasons, but 12 races of trying at Daytona in the Cup Series on an EA Sports game. Can I finally get the win and break through? We'll see. Like and subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.